Okay, it just cut off on me again. I'm not really sure why. So I wanted to come back because we were interacting, Melvin and I, with some people in the comments. And we really just did not get a chance to really get into it. Some of the points, I was just kind of interacting with some people. I'm going to bring you back on, Melvin. I don't know what happened. Hopefully it won't cut off. Hey, Keenis. I am great. For some reason, the live cuts off on me, and I do not know why. I have no idea.
Oh, what happens? That's life. That's part of life.
I know, right? I
Yeah.
never really, I was like still looking through comments and stuff, but, and I had asked you a couple of random questions.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier on, just to recap, I was asking you why I've never been married, why you're just not feeling it. And you talked about, it sounded like you were saying that you want to get married to stay married and not just to divorce.
Yeah, because nobody wants to. Excuse me. No, nobody wants to get married and after a year or two being divorced. That's why some people typically say that let's do counseling before we get married. I mean,
Yeah,
that's one option that you can do,
yeah,
or or just be around a person enough to fill them out to see if that's the person that you want to marry and
yeah.
figure out
You
if
did
it's going
talk
to
about
work or
that
not.
too. For anybody that missed it earlier, then that's what we were talking about before we got cut off. Is really more dating for a mate and longevity instead of just okay, we're just gonna hook up, we together, and then we married and then we divorced. Because I've seen that a lot. I've been married once, and I was married for a while and had 3 children, and then I
Okay.
haven't been married again. And that's been about 7 years now. So I'm kind of happy with that because once I get married again, I would want to stay married. So I would not want to be like, a lot of other people, no shade, but they married this person, it didn't last long. Then they married this person, it didn't last long. Because there's a reason for that. And one of the things that I wanted to mention, this is a story. I don't know if you could relate to this or you could speak to what you think happened. One of my friends told me a single guy that she knows, when he been interacting with this lady online, and he had also FaceTimed her. He drove, I think, 3 hours to go see her. And once he gets there, he says she did not pass the eye test. So I didn't understand
I can
why
tell you the script already.
huh?
I can tell you the script already.
What, I mean, I don't understand. Like, what was that?
He went all he went all the way. How far was this? Was
That
this
was three
drive?
hours.
And he said she didn't pass the eye test.
She didn't pass
He
the
didn't.
eye test. But
He
he's
didn't
been
control.
FaceTiming with her.
He didn't control the script in the first place because he went all the way out there to see her. There was no neutral spot. He took 3 hours to drive all the way out there. She was in control. She probably told him how it was gonna play. And then the woman already knew that he was desperate because he drove 3 hours to go out there and see her. And
So
he
you
knew
think
her
that's
off of what,
desperate?
Facebook? Heck shit, that's he drove 3 hours to see the woman. He drove 3 hours away. He didn't even know who this woman was. If it was a neutral spot, then they were both in agreement. Then they're both traveling and they're driving the distance. But for him to come back and say she didn't pass the eye test, he didn't get what he wanted when he went there. See,
Oh,
he hid that. He didn't get what he wanted.
you say he did?
He didn't. He didn't get what he wanted. That's
Oh,
why he said she didn't pass the eye test. That was his way of throwing off the whole thing.
oh, like saving face when he told my friend about what
Yes.
happened? Cause,
Yes.
cause she was like, "You're home already?" Cause he drove all the way down there, and then he came back like quick.
Yeah, he came back quick because he didn't get what he wanted. And you
Really?
asked him what he wanted. He told you a lie to save face.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
telling you the script. I've seen these scripts. Trust me. I open this stuff up quickly.
What? Oh my
And then
gosh.
I have another friend that you probably should talk to about this stuff on here because he's even slicker than me.
Oh my gosh. Cause I'm like, my friend was like, how is he? Cause they're like brother sister kind of thing. So she was like, well, how's she not passing the eye test? You didn't seen her, you face.
That's a throw off. That's a throw off.
Oh my gosh. So she
That was a
wouldn't.
throw off. You telling me I'm driving 3 hours. Now think about it. Think about it. Now you got to think like a brother gonna think.
I
Now he
just,
gonna drive 3 hours away. Probably a nice looking woman. Probably all types of things, different things were said and this and that. And he probably may have thought there was gonna be fireworks. That's
okay.
probably what he thought when he drove 3 hours away. Oh, all of a sudden, oh, she didn't pass the eye test. Come on now. That's nothing. He
Um,
didn't meet his goal when he came back and he was embarrassed. So he did that to save face. Come on, I know these scripts.
oh my gosh. Okay. I missed
Yeah,
it.
you
One
got
of
to think beyond the box sometimes.
Yeah, I totally missed it. I totally missed it. Um, so we just for anybody that just popped on here and I was on before and we lost it or whatever, that's what Charles is saying. All we did was like kind of recap, and I just asked him another random question about my friend's story that she told me. So he put me on game, and Mike said Melvin is right. So that kind of speaks to my point of sometimes when you're just not feeling it, that you trying to reject that person before they reject you. So
Yeah, and I'm still thinking he traveled 3 hours away. He didn't get what he wanted, and that's all he can come back and tell you. Man,
she didn't pass the
I'd have
eye
been,
test.
huh?
She didn't pass the eye test.
Come on, that's
I
weak.
guess she didn't look good enough. I don't know.
Well,
That's,
shoot, he knew what she looked like before he got there, and all of a sudden he didn't get what he wanted, so he came back quick. She
but I
probably
mean,
told him
wouldn't he
how.
want to, if he liked her, wouldn't he spent time with her and just hung out, even if you didn't?
Nah, she told him how it was gonna be or what it was gonna be, and he came back, and he probably said, "Oh, I don't have this to do," but it didn't have nothing to do with the eye test because the eye test would be small because you can open that stuff up. It nothing. It just don't sound right. Think about it. That
That
stuff
it
don't sound
didn't
right.
sound right, but I didn't know like what in the
Nah,
world, like
I can give you an example of something that doesn't sound right. Like
what?
listen to this. There's a place where I work at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there was one woman. She told me she worked at. I mean, she graduated from some big time college or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then she's an RA. She's an RA and she's cleaning up after people. And she said she graduated from some big time college with a psychology degree.
She might have. You can
That
you
doesn't make it okay. Then there's more lies to this. I'm gonna tell
okay.
you some more lies. Then she said her parents was rich. She has a maid at her house. Okay, I understand that. You
Now
have a
she getting
maid
the
at your
side
house.
eye.
Yeah, now, but you're a RA and you're cleaning the floor with the kids. But you have a maid at your house. Does that make any sense? It sounds very far fetched, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I was with her with the degree because I've seen that several times
Yeah,
with
but
degrees and you
but the
just still
college,
clean the toilets. I get that.
yeah, but if the degree is like almost close to Ivy League, if they're telling you that their degree is almost Ivy League or the school that they graduated from
Mm-hmm.
is close to an Ivy League school, then it's a lie. Like if they said they went to somewhere like Edinburgh or somewhere, okay, I can respect that. It's not as big. But when I hear something like, "Oh, I graduated from Stanford," I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah.
But then they say they got a maid, but then they're cleaning up too. That doesn't make any sense. Why are you cleaning? You have a maid. I mean, you would be above that, right?
So You basically saying women are lying too. So women,
Well, they do that too, but I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just giving you an example of
that's
the
something
type
that
of
just
stuff that I
doesn't
see.
make sense. But
Yeah, and
she
then
was
then
she
I'm
saying this
listening,
to people she trying to date, or she just telling everybody this?
just telling everybody this, just to believe it. And I'm one of them type of people. I do my research. When I start hearing this stuff, I'm like, oh. Then if I start hearing lies along the trail, then and stuff ain't adding up, then it's hard for me to process, and then I start doing research just to have my ducks in a row, and so whenever they say something to me, I have the facts right in front of them, and then all of a sudden, when I see them, I can hit them with little slick comments.
Oh, basically saying you don't
Well, I don't do
you
it like
see
you don't
through
do it like that, huh? Yeah,
that you
Dietrich, you
see
don't
through
do.
what they're saying.
Yeah, you don't. But you don't. But when you learn the information, you throw it out there on a slick level. The problem with people is they just come out and say it. You have to be like, oh, well, I got my degree from so and so, and I got this, I got that. Even though you know it's a lie, they know it's a lie, but you're attacking them some kind of way to get them to come clean. You can
You
force a person to come clean by doing certain things.
So I feel like if you got to do all that and bringing it back to dating, it's not somebody
No,
that
that
you
ain't bringing it to dating. That's just opening somebody up. Shoot, I'm not trying to date. Ain't nobody trying to date no liar. I'm sorry, don't nobody
right.
want no
That's
liar.
why I'm like,
Yeah, you don't want no liar.
you
You
just
already know
let
that
them
person
go
done
on and
told lies.
say whatever they're gonna say and move on. Like
Yeah,
whatever.
and yeah, and them liars get people killed. Like those liars, whew, like I just can't take liars.
So
It's hard.
let me ask you this, because we're talking about for anybody that missed it the first time, why you're just not feeling it, you know. So have you ever been in a situation, or you've been single for a little while, and I was like, well, you know what, I might want to settle down at this point. I want to go ahead and settle down, and you start dating somebody, and they're not exactly like everything you had in mind, um and but you're still trying to go with it. Do you Have you ever done that before?
Yes, sometimes you gotta bring them back into focus. You gotta do extra things to let that person know that you still love them, and that you're still there, and you just have to show them.
What about like when you're just not feeling it, meaning like, I mean, I personally have had a hard time figuring out what I wanted. Like I would try it, because you know how people would say it's not all about looks, or like you're being shallow, or they would say like you want them to be too accomplished, or you know you're aiming too high, basically. And then I would just try to open up, like, and I found that when I tried to quote unquote open up, it was just like it didn't work for me. I
Well,
just could.
a real man is gonna bring you back into focus. A real man is gonna bring you back into focus. I mean, if he honestly likes you and he's feeling you, he's gonna try to bring you back into focus, and he's gonna try to wheel you back in and get you focused on him. But it would have to be he would have to know a lot about you, and he would have to be able to get you a certain way, do the things that you like, the things that you want. I mean, it just basically have fun with you. He can bring you back in. It wouldn't be that hard.
You think so?
I
I
don't
I
think.
mean, I've had people really try, and I just did not like them.
They didn't know what
Like,
they were doing. They didn't know you.
they didn't know me.
No, they
I
didn't know
don't
what
know.
they was doing.
I know one guy. I feel so bad because he's a real one, but he did everything that I would mention that he felt he could do, and I just was like, there was other things that weren't done, and I was just like, no, I don't care. Like,
You wasn't feeling him. He was probably doing the material stuff, and he just wasn't really building some type of, I don't know, the good stuff. Like it, you just felt that y'all just there was no connection there. The only
Yeah,
thing
it
he was
must have
probably
been a
trying to win you
connection. I
over
don't
with
know.
is, yeah, he's probably trying to win you over with material things. There probably wasn't no connection.
That could have been. Casey,
He was trying to blind you.
she says, that sounds like settling almost. I thought this was a good point. If you ain't feeling it, but you're still there, but it ain't going nowhere, that's definitely settling.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you're sitting back and you're hoping for something to get better, and ultimately, it may blow up, or somebody may have to just grab their stuff one day and be gone.
Yeah, and I definitely wouldn't put anybody through that. That was like short periods of time where I'm like, it doesn't, I felt so bad because it was like, it didn't matter what he did. I just wasn't happy. And I was like, this is ridiculous. What is Brian is saying? Um, if you are not feeling it, let it go. Why waste their time and yours? You cannot force it. I agree. And then he says, I'm not sure about
Right.
sorry, men do not waste that type of time. Maybe women do.
I don't know.
I don't know
I
what he's
seen
saying.
some men waste time with women or be in a relationship to where they truly wasn't happy, but they just didn't want to be alone. I've seen that too.
Yeah. I guess that's what Brian is saying, that women do that, but men don't. I think men and women do the same stuff.
They do, just on different levels.
Yeah. Because I definitely didn't waste that guy's time. I gave him a chance, which is what he asked for. Like, just give me a chance. So I gave him a solid chance. And then I was like, okay, I'm frustrating both of us.
There was no connection. That's what it was. He there was nothing that he could really do for you that
Yeah.
you would gain really any feelings. That's why it was so dry.
It was so dry. It was rough. I think I
You
ended up talking to an ex
couldn't
about it. He
relate.
was like, you shouldn't even did that. It was so funny. Cause I was like, well, I was just trying, when you're single, you're just trying to give people a chance. You don't want to be the person that's like, you don't even give people a chance. At least back then, I didn't want to be that person. Uh,
Yeah.
Mike, he said, I never knew Melvin was a love guru.
Yeah, he used to work with me
That
because
is
cause
funny.
where I worked at, I was more. I wouldn't talk to people because that place wasn't the type of place where you open up to people. You just ignore them and just feed them with a long handled spoon.
Yeah. I wonder, so is this true? Brian says men do not give women that same chance. Is that true?
What does he mean by men don't give women that
The
same
what I was
chance?
describing, I was like, this is
Yeah.
a really nice guy. It was like somebody I was attracted to. He was I thought he was a great person. He is a
They
great
do.
person.
Oh, now I get it. Yeah, they do. Men give women that chance.
That's what I
'Cause
thought.
I'm like,
So I'm like, what do you mean? They don't give, I mean, I thought like there was a possibility that he may not be everything that I had put on my checklist. But I was like, I'm gonna try. It didn't work out, but I tried. And I think that that's common. I don't know. But maybe some men don't. He said, why
no,
do you have to give them a chance if you're not feeling them? So with in my case, I don't know if you've experienced this, but in my case, I was at first. Like, you start talking and you're like, yeah, you be excited to see a text or talk to him on the phone and all that. And then as things progress, you notice like it's not really going that well.
not going anywhere, right?
Yeah, not the way I wanted something. Even then, I wanted something more serious. Um,
I wonder. Have you ever had the feeling of excitement when you seen somebody that you were dating? Like every time you see them, you just get like real excited.
yeah,
Took you a while. It took you a second to answer that
because
though.
I was thinking about like different.
How
Yeah, for
often has
sure.
that happened?
Yeah, if I'm not excited, then I'm not going to meet you to begin with. Like we're not going nowhere. So So I was kind of wondering where you were going with the question. Is why I
You
paused.
get like
Like,
a tingling in your heart when you see them.
huh?
You ever get a tingling in the heart when you see them, when you see a person?
Yeah, I've had a lot of like I've had guys really put in work um to make sure I'm excited. So
Oh
yeah,
wow!
for sure. Like they want me to be
So you
excited.
making these brothers climb mountains then?
I'm not doing it. They do it on their own.
You doing something if they're doing all that. If they're trying to climb a mountain to gain your affection, or they're doing what, then
Doing
that means they're
what?
doing something, huh?
Doing what?
Shoot, if a guy ain't trying to climb the mountain and earn your affection, then there's no point in even trying to get with him
No, I mean
because
he.
you're making the
I'm
push
saying
that
I don't do anything spectacular. They
yeah.
just. I mean, I think the average guy seems to want every guy that I've gone out on a date with. They have wanted me to be super excited to see them. They've wanted me to be excited about the date. And if I wasn't, I could. And there's been times where I wasn't as excited, and they could kind of feel it. And they didn't they would call. I think there's only one guy that didn't call me back, and it was because I was standing outside the door. I'm the open the door kind of girl. So he wasn't into that. So I kind of stand there. It's just kind of a habit. Here and there I'll accidentally put my hand to open the door. But most of the time I'm going to kind of pause. And he was like, "You are really tripping about this door thing." And I was like, "Yeah, it's what I'm used to." So I didn't get a call back from him. I understand.
That's some Seinfeld stuff.
Huh?
That's some Seinfeld stuff.
Seinfeld?
You ever watch that show Seinfeld?
I know
That's the
what you're
type of
talking about, but I didn't see the show
yeah,
that I don't
yeah.
know.
They just show stuff like that on Seinfeld where I can't date a girl that does that, and you know how that go. That
Yeah,
show.
he was not he was like, "No, I can't do it." You all do not have the same options for mistakes in the beginning. I don't know what you mean by Brian. So hopefully I responded to that when he said, "Why give them a chance if you're not feeling them? Always feeling them in the beginning."
Yeah,
Casey,
but
you
you
don't
you
think
know,
chivalry? I every guy but one guy opened the
oh man, I
door for
love
me.
chivalry. Chivalry's the greatest.
Yeah, all of them do. So I don't know, Casey.
Yeah,
Except, and
shoot.
he was mad, but he was mad opening my door. So he still did it. He didn't like it, but he did it. So everybody does it. So I don't know.
For real.
I am so
If
serious.
the guy ain't opening your door and doing things like that, then you might as well just throw him away because he ain't.
Yeah, that was funny. He said, Travis excited, perfect point. My first marriage, we had to work for excitement, which is not good. I got lucky enough to find my second wife, and we were perfectly matched and never have to work for excitement. Came naturally within. That's what I'm talking about. I knew then, and 3 years later, still clicking. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You shouldn't have to be, forcing it to be excited. And I know I have had some moments to where I just, I don't know. Have you ever been going to take somebody out and not that excited to for the date, or you don't even go?
Because I mean, typically you got people that want to that typically want to go out to actually eat or try to use. Like if when they want to do that, I mean, it's like when you get to the restaurant, you be like, let's split the check, and then
Uh-uh.
they
I've never had that happen either. I would
oh
be
man, if I'm
devastated.
feeling that way, if I'm feeling that way, I'm like, man, let's split the check. I ain't with this today.
Have you done that before?
But hell yeah, I don't play that. Hell yeah. And then they get these messed up looks on their face. And then one time, two of them like ran out because they thought I was gonna pay for the food. We was all sitting down talking,
Oh
and
my
then
God.
years ago, and then they was like, "Oh, you paying right?" And then they tried to bring their little friend along, and I turned around and said, the waitress came after we got the food and had to check, and I was like, "Man, can you split this check?" Man, them bras ran out.
Oh my God. That is hilarious.
Oh man, I laughed. I didn't pay. I paid for my food and I left.
Well, okay, this is a we're gonna wrap up here soon. But this Casey, I know you're not talking about your man. I know you, girl. She said it's others that she's had conversations with that she doesn't agree with and feels they shouldn't teach their sons this practice, and it pissed her off. And I think that it depends on how the woman carries herself. Um,
Okay.
because I work with teenagers and they could be something else. However, they still treat me in a certain way. You know what I mean? Because they gain respect for certain kind of women. You know, so that's all I can really say to that. Like they kind of size you up and they listen to how you speak. From my experience, because I have never had a problem with anybody opening my door, anybody paying. Everybody always pays. They don't ever say, are you going to pay for something? And if they do, they feel like horrible about it because they don't have money or something, not because they are like, I'm just not paying for your stuff. You know, they're like, and that has happened on rare occasions, like over the years. Like they will not let their son do anything like this for their own. What? Yeah, he got some issues. Bless his heart. Because even
Wow.
strangers will open the door for me. I mean, even if I walk up to a door and there's a guy there, he's going to open the door and I don't have to know him. That's ridiculous.
I can see why they opening the door. They like, ooh, I'm about to open the lady for this woman.
Oh
Okay.
my God. Well, I just like to believe that it's not just me. I like to believe that it's just that men treat women well. That's what I like to believe.
Everybody ain't like that. Like, I mean, sometimes I hold the door for people because that's what I was taught. But
Yeah.
people don't typically say thank you either.
I always say thank you.
Yeah, when they don't say thank you, I say you're welcome. And
Right.
then they be
That's
like, thank
rude.
you.
She
Huh?
said they don't like, he probably got he's hurt because she said if she don't do it for him, he ain't supposed to do it for her. The kid's only 9 and just being kind. So it sounds like that guy's been through some things. So he's hurting. He just like F all women type stuff. Cause that's
That's
kind
bad.
of strange. That I feel like that's unusual. I don't think that's the rule of thumb.
That's
Uh,
happened to Kentucky. Like some of those old school methods and different things, they're going to waste, like chivalry. Just like you said, it a lot of the times that ain't even being practiced, only with certain people.
well, I'm keeping mine. Everybody else can go ahead then, because they gonna keep opening the door for me.
Sometimes they won't. I'm telling you, when you start looking old, they ain't gonna hold the door. They gonna be like, that old lady can hold the door herself. No, I'm
No,
just
they
kidding.
better not. And I'm gonna say thank you, young man. I appreciate it. Charles said he does the same thing. You're welcome when they don't. But
Oh,
okay. So I'm gonna just recap, and then if there's anything that you want to add, and then we can just wrap it up. So
okay.
we talked about sometimes that people you're just not into them because I believe that in some cases you're just not ready. For whatever reason, there's some things going on. You may be needing to work through your rejection issues or whatever, but you're just not quite ready. You're not healed from whatever it is that you've been through, especially if you've dated quite a bit. Sometimes you're in denial for what you really want. So that's when we talked about settling a little bit because you're like, this is not quite it. And then I think another reason is just bad timing. We didn't really get to that, but it was a little choppy since we lost some time when we got cut off. But I think sometimes bad timing is a reason why you may not just be into that person because you got some stuff going on.
Not necessarily. You can always keep a keep a person around.
Try.
I've seen people, yeah, I've seen people that done kept people around 7 and 8 years.
That that is I don't know if that's healthy. That's why I said try. You can
It
try
could
to
be
keep
healthy if
on.
they if I mean some people understand it and they don't mind it. You got some people that don't mind it,
Fair enough.
and it makes them happy. I mean, sometimes you have that.
Different stroke, I guess. Like everybody's different. I got time limits. I can't.
You got time limits. What's your time limits, girl? I want to hear. No, I'm just
It's
like,
just like I can't. I put a timestamp on everything. Like, okay, I'm gonna do this for this amount of time, and if it's not going anywhere, then goodbye. I wish you well. You're a good person. No love lost. But moving on now, because that's
I
kind
can't
of
let you go
ridiculous.
though. I know they be like, I can't let you go. I just can't.
Bye. I don't care. Because I do give people a genuine shot. Shoot your best shot. And if you mess it up, then I'm done. So
Well, well, if you're throwing up shots and you think you LeBron, then it ain't gonna work. I'm Michael Jordan.
what?
When I throw up shots, I'm trying to win the title. I'm not trying to be 3-6 in the finals.
Well, so I mean that was a good point to that last one. Is there anything else? What would you say would be the love lesson with all this? Or what's your greatest love lesson? It doesn't even have to be about this topic.
Uh, I mean, you just have to have patience. You just have to have patience with people. I mean, but you always have to let a person open up to you and listen to what they're saying, so you can get a proper assessment to understand if that's what you want to deal with or not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't give up don't give up everything. Tell a person very little until you can understand what you want to do. You don't tell them everything about yourself, then they know how to play you.
Okay. That's game 101. I think one of
No,
my
that's
friends
not that's
definitely told me
life.
that.
It's life. It's not game. It's life. I've seen this all the time, where somebody just tells all their business, and then all of a sudden somebody knows how to play them or use them.
It does open you up for manipulation, but what I will add to that, here's a spiritual note. That nobody can play you. Really, it's you always playing yourself. Because if you are connected to God or higher power, then you just trust that your source will take care of you and will lead you and guide you in the right direction. Because I've always been pretty open.
But
And
I've seen a lot of church women with a lot of kids from a lot of different men. So I
yeah, I'm
mean,
not one
I
of
think
them.
no, I know
So
you ain't. Well, I wasn't saying that. I'm
no,
saying
I'm just
so. I
saying,
mean,
like, it's not the
sometimes that stuff don't
church.
help.
It's not
Okay?
church. It's your relationship with God. Like,
With God, yeah.
yeah, it's not just because you're a church woman, they may not really be connected. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I've always felt protected despite my openness, but I have been told the same advice several times, like don't open yourself up on sharing this information because it gives them room to manipulate. But um when your head is in the right place and your heart is in the right place, they really can't play you. You might play yourself because of your decisions that you make, but they can't play you. Like,
Mm,
you make a bad decision with dealing with somebody that's a manipulator. That's her decision. So she knew he was a manipulator 9 times out of 10.
yeah, but when they get caught up into something or when it doesn't work right, they turn around and say, "I didn't know all that." That's what the woman always says. I didn't know all that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like they said,
I
like
think
they
this
said.
could. I think. I guess. I don't know, Charles. I'll have to see more about what you're talking about. But he agrees with you. He said this woman told all her business on the first date. We never went out again. She shared too much, which let me know she can't hold water.
See, he
So,
telling the truth.
yeah.
I mean, you don't want to. You don't typically want to want to fill up a cup that can only hold like 2 ounces of water, and you're filling it up with 16 ounces. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I guess I'm wondering how much is too much. Like, what are these people saying? Because I wouldn't say anything inappropriate. You know what I mean? So it's hard for me to relate. Like, it is inappropriate to talk about just any and everything, and you don't like. It's too soon. I guess it's like the person doesn't even want to know yet. So,
Yeah,
uh,
you're telling them way too much, and then they can't process it or comprehend what you're saying. Then a lot of the times, a lot of these people probably aren't even on your level, so they're turned away by your conversation because typically never get mad when somebody decides that they don't want to deal with you. Sometimes you're just too much for them.
yeah, that's what he just said. He said, Charles said personal family stuff. He was uncomfortable. So I'm like, what the heck did she say? Goodness gracious.
Man, ooh. Oh, my
Like, what
family,
did
this
she
is my family.
say? Oh my gosh. But anyway, I mean, I guess it's from a male's point of view, which is why I definitely like to talk to guys because women need to know that, like, your point of view. And I guess I probably would be uncomfortable too if he started sharing too much. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm not worried about. I think what I wanted to put out there was I'm not worried about anybody manipulating me based upon what I said to them because you can't play me.
I
Like
don't know.
I'm not
I
worried about
always
that.
hear that. You know what? I always hear that. I hear women say that, and then all of a sudden they meet their maker. When they typically say that, they typically meet their maker. They find somebody that just twists them all up and does whatever they want with them. I've
That's
seen that.
still that's still her fault. Like I feel like ultimately if I allow somebody to do that, that's still on me. That's my fault. I'm not saying that I'm not like I'm invincible to being vulnerable. I'm just saying if that does happen, that's my fault. That's not because this person just manipulated me. It's because I chose to do what um go for whatever he was dishing out. Like
Oh,
that's not what is, he said too much of her family business as to why they don't really deal with her. He discerned some mental health issues. Okay.
man. Ooh, American Psycho or freaking uh you got Norman Bates.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess in that case, if I thought somebody was a little bit, that's not, I feel like it's still not too much too soon because eventually you needed to know,
You don't want
so
well see, yeah, that's a good thing that she told him.
I'm right.
She
I'm like,
mess around,
just
have a knife in his back in the bed while he sleep.
right. I'm like, I feel like it definitely wasn't too much too soon. It was information, pertinent information that you needed to know.
Yeah.
So I feel like be free to say what you feel comfortable saying. She must have felt very comfortable with you to where she let it rip.
Now, if she feeling that comfortable, then I mean, there was only one other part of that script left.
What?
She's telling him that much business. Think about it. When a woman is telling that much business and she's telling all her business like that,
Uh-huh.
she's feeling comfortable. There ain't much left to that script.
Yeah, I don't. Why would she do that? I'm lost.
Yeah,
I'm so
because she
lost.
felt comfortable, like you just said. If she's feeling that comfortable, there ain't much left to that script.
No, there's not. There's
And there's
not.
only
It's
one other
like,
thing left. And that was on him.
yeah, he just had to go in for the kill. I don't know. Like, I
There
don't.
you go. You just said it. You just said it. I was trying not to say it. There you go.
I was gonna let it go, but I was like, no, I'm gonna catch it.
There you
But
go.
yeah, that is funny. Maybe he said maybe I was supposed to minister to her. It does sound like she needed some prayer and some oil or something thrown at her.
Nah, she just needs somebody that's gonna sit down and talk to her and help her with her problems. That's all. She'll be all
Oh,
right. Maybe.
what did you say?
I said she might be all right. She sit she
Maybe.
sit down and get a nice conversation. She might be all right.
Yeah, because some people would have been okay with it, honestly. Some people would have been, and I have a family member, they're still together to this day. And I promise I'm about to stop talking. But they're still together to this day. And her situation was it sounded so like ratchet, but
Mm-hmm.
they just went with it. And she was real. Like it was one of those situations. I'm going to say it wrong. So, they probably won't even know what I'm talking about because I don't even have the story straight. But just to give you an idea of what it was like, okay, well, my baby daddy lives here and, but we're not together, like that type stuff where you're like, what? So I feel like, you just not that into the person when they share a lot of information and then you feel like it's too much. It's because you don't really like them like that anyway.
Yeah,
That's
but they're opening up because they don't really have anybody to talk to.
yeah,
I mean, typically I can sometimes you can be friends with people like that, but I don't know. I mean, sometimes I try to help people out. When they get to talking that crazy stuff though, then I'd be like, okay. There was like one time where I was hanging out with somebody. Well, I ain't gonna go there. I'll be taking it too far. But sometimes you just want to fall back and just be a friend and just talk to them. That's it.
yeah. That sounded like what she needed. So, I think we got through this one. I think it was kind of fun. It was fun to talk about. Um, so if anybody has any comments about anything that we said, feel free to, even if it's the replay, leave your comments, any questions, or if you want to jump on here with me. This is geared toward single people that are over 30. I know I've talked to the pastor last week. He is obviously married. So, um, in some cases, we can kind of figure it out, but it's geared for single people over 30 because I think we definitely have a different experience. We're not younger anymore. And when we're dating, we're, looking for different things. So reach out if you have any questions or something that you want to talk about. Comment, like, share. And until next time, just remember that no matter what you're going through, there's still more in you. So we'll do this again soon. And thank you so much, Melvin. I appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem.
Super fun to
Just
talk
call me
to.
up whenever you need me. I'm here.
The love guru, Melvin.
Nah, not I ain't the love guru. Shoot, I don't want to be nothing like that. Shoot.
No, that's what one of your friends called you.
Yeah, I ain't. Oh yeah, Mike Schlusher, right?
I think it
Yeah,
was. I don't remember who it
yeah, that was him, I think.
was. Okay. Well, good night, everybody.